Today, we're going to unravel a fascinating story about a demon king who thought he had created the perfect, absolutely unbreakable code for immortality. What he didn't count on, though, was a divine loophole, one that came in the form of the absolutely terrifying Narasimha.
So, take a look at this. This is Narasimha, the fourth incarnation of Lord Vishnu. And, well, you can see he just radiates pure ferocity. But this form? It wasn't just for show. It was actually a very specific, totally brilliant solution to a problem that seemed impossible. So what kind of problem requires a half-man, half-lion god to solve it?
Well, our story really kicks off with an antagonist who wasn't just happy with power. No, he wanted to outsmart the very laws of the universe. He wanted to cheat death itself, and he came up with a challenge so clever it seemed completely unbeatable.
Let me introduce you to our guy, Hiranyakashipu. Now, he was fueled by this deep-seated vengeance against the god Vishnu, so he performed years and years of intense penance to get a special gift from the creator god Brahma, a boon that he was absolutely convinced would make him totally invincible.
And get this, here's the boon he asked for. Just look at the incredible detail here. He couldn't be killed by a man or a beast, not during the day or at night, not indoors or outdoors, not on the earth or in the sky, and not by any weapon. He basically built this logical fortress around his own life, sealing up every single possible loophole. Or, so he thought.
So with this seemingly foolproof protection, you could imagine his arrogance just went through the roof. It knew no bounds. He conquered everything, the heavens, the earth, and then he made this one fatal decree. He was the only god, and all worship had to be directed to him and him alone.
But, as these things often go, the greatest challenge to his absolute power didn't come from an army or another god. It came from the most unlikely of places, his own family.
You see, his own son, Prahlada, was a devout follower of the very god his father hated, Vishnu. And this created a totally impossible conflict. On one hand, you have the father demanding worship for himself. On the other, you have the son whose unwavering faith was only for Lord Vishnu. Father and son were set on this tragic collision course.
Now, Hiranyakashipu could not stand this defiance, especially from his own son. It drove him mad. And so began this series of absolutely horrific trials, all designed to do one thing: break Prahlada's faith.
The king unleashed his full fury. He had Prahlada attacked with weapons, trampled by war elephants, thrown from treacherous cliffs. It gets worse. He had him poisoned and burned, and even cast into the ocean, all tied up by giant serpents. Each attempt was just more horrific than the last, and every single one was designed to be fatal. But here's the incredible part. None of it worked. Not a single thing. Prahlada's mind was so completely absorbed in his devotion to Vishnu that he literally remained unharmed. His unwavering faith became this impenetrable shield. So the king is at his wit's end. He's completely frustrated that every single attempt to kill his son had failed. So he decided he was going to end things once and for all with one final, fateful challenge. In a final fit of absolute rage, the king just mocks his son's belief. He points to this pillar in the palace and he sneers, "If your Vishnu is so omnipresent, if he's everywhere, is he in this pillar too?" And Prahlada, calm as ever, simply replies, "Yes, he is."
And that was it. That was the last straw. Furious at his son's unshakable faith, Hiranyakashipu just charged forward, drew his sword, and struck that pillar with every ounce of his might.
And in that single moment, everything changed. A sound, unlike anything you can imagine, erupted from the pillar. A sound so tremendous, it seemed to crack the very fabric of the cosmos itself.
What happened next wasn't just about saving Prahlada. Oh no, it was the brilliant, divine answer to the unkillable king's impossible riddle.
Because from that shattered pillar emerged Narasimha. And here's the key: he was neither man or beast. He was this powerful combination of both. And right there in his very form was the first key to cracking the king's code of invincibility.
Okay, so this is where the pure genius of the divine solution just becomes crystal clear. Every single one of Hiranyakashipu's carefully constructed conditions was met and then perfectly bypassed. Remember, neither man nor beast? Well, Narasimha was half man, half lion. Neither day nor night, he appeared at twilight, that perfect in-between time. Indoors or outdoors, he attacked on the threshold of a doorway. Earth or sky, he placed the king on his lap. And not by any weapon, he used his own claws. It was the perfect divine loophole.
So beyond this incredible, dramatic showdown, what can we really take away from this? Well, for one, we see the amazing protective power of unshakable faith in Prahlada. We also get that classic warning that arrogance, like Hiranyakashipu's, it always leads to ruin. And maybe most importantly, we see the divine justice. It isn't bound by our mortal rules. It can always find creative ways to restore balance.
Ultimately, the story of Narasimha is really about finding a solution that exists outside the established rules of the problem. And that leaves us with a pretty provocative question, doesn't it? When the systems we create, our laws, our rules, our codes, when they fail to deliver justice, what kind of creative, loophole-finding power is needed to restore balance to our world?